Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new painting tutorial, and this time we are going to paint this warband that is the Headsmen's course that is from the Warhammer Underworlds. I will paint specifically this guy because we have I think more things. We have the metals, we have the candles, we have skulls. I think we have almost everything that the other guys have. I think it's the most complete of them. I know that the leader normally is this guy, but both guys have to be painted more or less following the same techniques. Okay, so I think it's more interesting to do this one in that case. So we are going to start with the base, and then from there we are going to keep going on. And to start with the base, I will do first the tails and the stones, and I will apply with Charger Grey. Okay, so we are going to do this. I'm going to apply with Charger Grey on the stones. I want to give this grey a greenish tonality, and as well, we are going to play with the next color, so we are going to have, I think at the end, a nice, interesting and dark color stone. But we start with this one. As you can see, we will apply any contrast. I try to be careful not to dirten the parts where I don't want the grey to be. So I always like to paint the contrast paints quite carefully, especially if I want to play with them, because if not, then I will need to. If you by any mistake go over an area where you don't want the color, you will need to clean up. If you want to use another contour, of course, because contours are quite transparent. So normally it's better to do it over a clean surface, or is how I like to work at least. So I'm doing that over the different stones, and I'm back when it has dried. Okay, next step, I'm going to use Garagax Seaware, and we are going to do the part where we have like earth or dirt. Okay, so we are going to do this part here. I'm going to go as well in between the stones. And I will, here if you paint a little bit the leaves, just we can go back with the green on top later on. Okay, we can put white. And then I will take water, very watery, and I will go over the rocks. And if it's too thin, I take just water and I just move it around. Okay, to give a little bit of brown tonality. So you want to go with, first do the deepest part. Here I think I will go over that because it's difficult to have good access. So you want to be sure that we do all the parts. Okay, so for example here I will go over the chest cage, okay, of the skeleton that is on the ground. Will also make sure that I paint nicely. I give a nice base. So at the end this is going to be visible, and you don't want to see white. By the way, I have primed them with the gray sear. Okay, so but any light color, any whitish primer will work for the techniques I'm using here. Okay, you have to prime. I don't prime them in black because I like to do a lot of contrast to do this miniature, so this is why I go for a lighter prime. Okay, so you can see I'm going first on all these parts where we have some dirt. Okay, applying this Garagax Seaware. I will apply this well here. This is why I do first the grey, because then I want to dirten the grey. Now I will take water, clean my brush, and I will go over the stones. Then I give this dirtiness and I give this brownish tonality. You can see it's almost dirty water what I'm applying, just to give a little bit of filter. You don't want to do, it's not even a wash, it's more like giving a filter of color, brown color to the stones. Okay, but not too much. Here I can go a little bit heavier because I want to give this darker tonality. And again, we are going to window this device, and I will be back for the next step. Okay, so this is what it looks like once the two contrasts have dried. And next I'm going to use Baneblade Brown, and we are going to do it mainly where we have the soil or the dirt. Okay, and we are going to do like a dry brushing. I'm trying to find a good brush for that. Okay, so we are going to take some of this. Need to shake it a little bit more. Right. We're going to apply it where we have the dirt. So you go a little bit over the stone. Okay, it's not a problem. Okay, something like that. Now I'm going to take raker flesh. Here's when I'm going to apply it a little bit more, and I'm going to apply it almost everywhere. But I don't want to go too heavy, just to give a little more texture to especially to the stones now. Like that is okay. And now we are going to take any light color that you have in your palette. We'll just a little bit here. You can take, to be fair here, any light color. I would use Screaming Skull. And with this I will now clean up the plants. Okay, the rose and the skulls and bones that we have everywhere. Okay, one layer should be enough for what I want to do. It's quite thin. Okay, you can see is yes. Follow the plant. The main purpose is to clean up if the previous contrast went over the plant, and as well to do the color of the wounds. And as well, if there is something they went over, like here, I will also clean up, not the full, just this part. Okay. I don't need to do the anvil. It's mainly this type of foggy or etheric smoke of the ghost. Okay, so I will keep doing that, because here, for example, we have some bones and a rib cage. Okay, I will do all this and I'm back for the next step. Next step, I'm going to use warp lightning, and we are going to apply this on the plants. We have like a rose there, so we are going to apply this on the leaves and this. Okay, you can play with the quantity that you want to apply. Okay, something like that. Okay, I put some leaves there. Okay, so I do this and I'm back for the next step. Next, I'm going to use XV88 and I'm going to do quite a heavy dry brushing where we have this finishing like soil or dirt. Okay, so for example here. Okay, and you can go a little bit over the stones next to the, okay, let's go for example here. That even if you don't touch a little bit the green, we are going to use later on the green to even darken a little bit more. So we're going to take a little bit here. Like that. Just to give a little bit of tonality. Okay. Next, I'm going to take lacquer flash. We can use even this one, plain red brown, and we are going to dry brush over the stones. So we take, well, it's quite dry, I will need to, I will do very soft over the stones, like that. Like that. Okay. I'm going to take now, as I said before, lacquer flash. We put some places like that is good enough. Now I'm going to take take skeleton hold. Okay, this one, another contour paint. And I'm going to apply this over the bones and skulls. Okay, like that. Next, I'm going to use Flesh Tiller Red, and we are going to apply this on the rolls. Like that. Now I'm going to take Built and Green and we are going to create some greenish on the stones, especially in these areas here, for example. You can even put a little bit over the stone like that. You apply more or less depending on your taste. You don't need to apply it everywhere, just where you think can add a little bit of interest. Okay, something like that. Okay, on the base we will need to wait that all this dries. So I'm going to do the next step. I'm going to use Nihilak oxide, and I'm going to apply this on the bottom part of the ghost. Okay, then so this is going to be all this part here. I will apply the Nihilate oxide. Okay. Again, here you can go quite thick. Nihilate oxide will work almost like a contrast paint, but don't expect it to do a lot because this part of the ghost is quite flat. So, and this is black. So you can, if you do a mistake, don't worry. And then I will apply it as well Nihilate oxide here in the inside to be sure this inner part is on this color. And we are going to do this type of smoky feathering thing that the ghosts have at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to do this on all the parts where I want this bluish color to be. As you can see, quite a straightforward step. So I'm doing that and I'm back for the next step. Okay, next step, I'm going to use Black Templar and we are going to paint the upper part of the of the ghost. Like that. We have to be careful if some part has not dried completely. That is not mixing with the nickelite oxide. Here you want to be quite clean in your paint job. Something like that. So we can do all over this. I like a lot Black Templar. Even if I like how it's hovering. I think it's a very nice paint to do black. Okay. So I will do this on here. In that case I will do a little bit the inside, because it's the same growth. Okay. Something like that. And careful. And I do like that, okay? Of course we are going to do all this big part. The only thing that I will not do is this type of mausoleum or reliquary that it has at the back, because I don't know what is this exactly. I think it's a reliquary, and we are going to do this later, okay? In a different color. I like to mix this aesthetic look with solid looking parts. I think it's what makes the Nighthawk interesting. So I will keep doing that, and I'm back for the next step. Okay, so this how it looks like now. Next I'm going to use Garagak Seaward, and we are going to paint this on the reliquary. Okay, I'm going to apply this here. Here you don't want to put too much. I like this one because I think it's interesting. I want to give an interesting wooden finish, like old wood. Okay. Don't worry if you go a little bit over the candles. Here the important thing is to do the wood, and even if you go a little bit over, the black will not be noticed. It is important we do the wood nicely done. Like that. Okay? So we'll do the other side and I'm back. Next I'm going to use lead belcher, and I'm going to paint the chain and the anvil. Well, I think it's an anvil. I don't know if it's an anvil or it's a... This one I'm quite confused if it's a rock. No, this is a rock. I'm going to do the chain and then we are going to do the rock later on. Sorry, I was confused. This is not an anvil. It's just a rock where that you put the head here is to chop the heads. Now I'm realizing. It's a execution place. So we're going to paint the chain. Now makes more sense. So he is the assistant of the executioner. Okay, we're going to paint the chain, and later on I will paint the rock. The rock, this thing, I don't know how it's called. Okay. So I'm going to do that, thin layer, the case, and I'm back for the next step. Okay, next step, I'm going to use Griff Charger Grey, and I'm going to put this in the execution stone, right? So I'm going to apply this. Like that. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Again, you want to leave it to take advantage of the contrast to give this shading, even in some cases do a little bit of paneling. It's not a shape, that have a lot of crevices, or it's quite a flat shape, but you want to take advantage of the contrast to pop up. You can see some of the scratches and things that this have. Okay, here at the bottom. Quite a straightforward step. So far, what I like to do is just apply all the contrast, all the base colors, and later on we are going to start working on the details and making it more interesting. Okay. And I like this stone color, this type of gray, because it goes with the ghostly ghost colors of the rest of the miniature. Let's see here. Okay. Like that. Something like that. Okay. Okay. And then I'm going to use again skeleton horde, and I'm going to do the skull that we have there. Okay. So we'll do this skull here. Doing that, and now we wait that everything dries. Okay, next step, I'm going to use a skeleton horde, and I'm going to do the candles with that. Like that. Okay, we are going to do all of them, like this one, and I'm back for the next step. Okay, next, I'm going to use Razor Rust on the chain, and any metallic parts that you have on your, I use this on any metallic part of my Nighthound. So I'm going to take, like that, I try to take it thin, and I prefer that is, instead of the consistency of a dry, that is normally what we have, I prefer that is more a consistency of a wash. So I put some water and I put it like that. Okay, and I wait that this dries before doing the next step, and you also want to put it here. Okay, like that. I will put a little bit here. That's all. And now I wait that all this dries, and I'm back for the next step. Okay, once the rust have been dried, you see we have this nice orangey rust everywhere. We are going to make it a little bit darker, and we are going to do a wash of Aglex Airshade, and I will apply this over the chain, also all the metallic parts, and as well over the stone. Okay, so I'm going to do something like that, because now I'm preparing the miniature to start doing all the highlights that I want to do later. Okay. So we apply this all over the metallic bars. We also do this here. And on the stone we go over the stone. This will give more earthy look to the stone, not that bluish that we have now, just with the what's called this, the blue gray. But now with this brown will give more a greyish look, more stone looking like. I can apply it more here, as well here. Okay. So when I do stones, I like to play with filters. I think stones does not have just one grey color. Normally you have a mixture of browns and greys, and sometimes even blues or whites. Okay, so it's interesting to apply a couple of filters at least, or a couple of layers, even in the brushing. Okay, because I think it will give a more interesting look to the stone. The only thing is bothering me is, yeah, this split line is too visible. I make the mistake of not gluing this one, and I think I will regret this later on. Trying to remove a little bit here. Here it accumulates too much, but okay. We can clean this later on. And now again, we will need to wait that this dries. Then we are going to be ready to start working with the highlights. Okay, I think something like that will look okay. I like the rust metal look. Of this chain, put a little bit more on the chain. You can even go with black later on if you want, depending how much contrast you want. Now I will let it dry and I'm back for the next step. Okay, next step, I'm going to start highlighting the ghostly parts. To do that, well, I will do highlights and shading. So I will have the darker color I will have is cyanide green. I will have a turquoise color that is called light turquoise from miniature paint. Okay. I will have in my wet palette as well Gauss Blaster green, Celestra grey, Fenrisian grey, and white. And with all these colors we are going to work on the highlights. I have all of them here, you can see in my wet palette next to it. I just keep pots here in case I need a little bit more. And we start, I will use the same brush I was using before for details. For example, we can start here, and I start normally applying Gauss Blaster green. Okay, where I want the highlight. Putting some additional water. You want to have the paint quite thin for this work. Okay, I apply Gauss Blaster green, and we're going to go like that. Then when it's a little bit too strike, I apply a little bit of Cybery green. And if you go a little bit bluish, you always can apply a little bit of the turquoise. Okay, and then you take the Celestra grey, and I like to do the edge at the end in Celestra grey. Like that. I will take now Cyberit and I will put a little bit here. Take a little bit of water, this place Celestra is a little bit dry. will take Celestial Gray and I will do this fold here. You can see now it's much thinner and it's more subtle. And then I will do this here. Now this part I will decolorize, I will remove the color, I will go with Celestial Gray because this part I want to look more whitish. And then I will start here from Gauss Blaster Green up to Celestial Gray. And I'll take now Gauss Blaster Green and I will decrease the intensity on all this thing. And then at the end you always can take a little bit of white at the end. The thing we need to try to simulate is this line here. I'm going to take first the cybery green this join here is quite unfortunate from the design point of view because there's not much they can do anyway. Now I'm going to take Gauss Blaster Green mixed with Cybery Green and I will do this part here. Again, Cybery Green and I fade it out. To the rest. Then I take Gauss Blaster Green and I'm putting it here to make this highlight here. As you can see, I like to use like wet blending, so I don't let the paints to dry and I go with the next color next to it. So this helps me to blend the colors. I will do the same here, so you can see I will try to blend it there. Now I will try to create a highlight with the Gauss Blaster. Something like that. Okay, and we keep working like that. Now, as we did in the other part, Celestial Gray, because I like to give this type of colorless finishing to increase the sensation of ghost. And we can remove the color here and go up. Here I need to use a little bit of Cybery Green to go darker and do this. We can also use a little bit of the turquoise and we play with this sensation between blue and green, sorry, that we have on this Nihilate Oxide. Okay, we put here a little bit darker green. I like to mix these two colors because there is not really equivalent for the Nihilate Oxide. So you need to play a little bit between greens and turquoise colors. I take now Gauss Blaster and I will exaggerate now this highlight here. I will go over there and now I take a little bit of the turquoise and the cybrid. I go over and I
dissimulate a little bit. By dissimulate, I make a smooth the transition. Okay. I also have black in my palette, just in case you need it. I used to have black, I think it's too light, in case I need to do some corrections. Okay. Okay, and now I take Gauss Blaster Green again, putting a little more water. I work with wet palette, but I also have a pot with clean water just to moisture the paint in case it's needed. Okay, how do this? No, I use Cyberit and I try to melt down the color. Now we go back to Gauss Blaster Green. And I take a little bit of Celeste Gray, go over, and we'll do the same here. And you keep working like that all over the ghostly part of this miniature, okay? So I will keep doing the same on the rest of the miniature. We are going to do the same on the face. So the face is the part where you want to add even more contrast, so I will go directly with Celeste. You want to, well, this can happen, that you make a mistake. This is why I have the Cyber Green with me. I can put it inside the nose again. And here is where you want to use a little bit of white. To exaggerate even more the highlights. Okay. Something like that. And I will take a little bit of Celeste. Put it there. Now we have the face. And we are going to highlight the rest of the miniature like that. So I will keep highlighting the miniature and I'm back for the next step. Okay, next I'm going to highlight, so you see how all the ghostly parts are looking like. Now I'm going to highlight the black parts. And to do that I'm going to use, of course, black, Corvus black, Ashen grey, Downstone, and Administratum grey. And with all these colors we are going to work the highlights. Let's start from a part that is easy to show. So let's start from this part. So I will start first applying the Corvus, because I also want to clean up the part where I were a little bit too match with the green. Then, once we have this wet with Corvus, we are going to apply Ashing Grey in these areas. And I will use Downstone to do the edge. Okay, and then because we have the Ashing Grey there, I will let it fade out. And we're going to do as well the grey here, the edge. Again, we will fade out with Ashing Grey. Here I want to use even black, or Corvus black. The black we keep it for very little parts. Okay, something like that. Let's do the top, because the top is the tricky part. And although this one is quite a small top, so on the top I will start first applying Ashing Grey. Okay, all over the top, something like that. Then I will do the folds that are going down. Like that. And here we have like this going like that. And I have this going like that. Okay, and I will paint all this with Ashing Grey. You can see Ashing Grey is very close to black and does not add too much contrast. But this is what I'm looking for now at the beginning, when I'm just trying to figure out where I want the highlights, where I want the strongest highlights, where I want to keep a dark color. We'll remove it because it's going to be easier to do the top without being. And now I'm going to take Downstone and I will start doing like that. So my voice sounds a little bit nasal, is because I really have a big cold with me and I have my nose completely blocked, so you can see I'm now really creating some contrast. Okay, but I'm trying to follow the folds. Really. Okay, and now I will take again Ashing Grey without cleaning my brush, and I try to, what you can see, to blend it. Here I will do the same in the middle. I take basically Downstone and I do like that. You can see, because the ashing is still taking ashing, and you change one color and the other to help on your blend, because these are quite smooth transitions, so you need to work a little bit on the blend. And I will do this. Okay, and now I will do this other fold that we have here. I will go something like that. Okay, and then I will follow the edge. As you can see that there is like a double fold, I will do the parallel to the edge. Okay, and don't worry, as you can see, as your brushing is not very thin. I will clean up this mistake here I have from the previous layer. Now I go with Downstone and I go up, and I take more Downstone because my brush had a lot of ashing. And I do like that, and I do like that. This is like a double fold, and then here I will do like that. And we want to do the full, or the whole part. Okay, you need to see the big picture here. Like that, and we stop it. Okay, I will not go because I want to keep this area darker. Taking now etching. And now I will take Corvus black. And I will help the blend. And now I will take etching. Like that. Okay. You can see we start blending them. Back to downstone. And now I will take just a little bit of administrator from the down and just like that. And then we do the same here, for example. And I will do the same like that. Okay, and now, because we have this super light, can come with the downstone and do this part like that. And I go down. And I go down like that. And now I take etching gray. A little less etching gray. And I thin these lines. You can create some additional texture if you want, like I'm doing here. They have the rest, so this is to increase even the depth. Now I will take a little bit of the black that I just put. Have to be a little bit thin. I will go just at the deepest part and exaggerate a little bit this contrast, like that. And I will go the same here, and I will go like that. Okay. And now on this part that I don't want it to be as darker, I use Corvus black, and I do the same. I will use now etching gray, and I will smoothen this like that. Now we can do the next fold. This one again. I like to start with etching gray. I like to start with a contrast and start building up the contrast. Going now to downstone. Now you see the contrast is quite sharp. Okay. And now I take a little bit of administrator and do this. And I do this for the rest of the black. I will do all the highlights and I'm back for the next step. Okay, next I'm going to paint the wood thing. The thing is like a relic that he has at the top. So for that I'm going to use these three colors, from dark to lighter: Gothor Brown, no, sorry, Dryad Bark, Gothor Brown, and Banelit Brown. Okay, we're going to use these three colors, and of course I have black from previous work in case I need some black. So I will start with the lighter one, Gothor Brown. We're going to start painting the edges. It's very windy today, and I'm going to use Gothor Brown to smooth the transitions. Then Dryad Bark okay, let me see. Using now Velvet Brown. I'm going to do some scratches. Then I go with Gothor Brown. I will do this. I will do a little bit in the middle. Now I take Velvet Brown. I will do this bar here. Now I go with Velvet Brown. And I keep going. Okay, and we're going to do the other side. So I will do the other side and I'm back. Next I'm going to do the green flames and smoke of the candles. So to do that I'm using from light to dark. We'll use Dawn Yellow, Mood Green, Warstone Glow. I move it away, but I have it around here. Okay, we'll use Corpus Black and Downstone to do the smoke, and as well I will use this one, Caliban Green. Okay, with all these colors we are going to work now to do the fire or the flame, not the fire, the flame and the smoke on the candles. So let me just make space. So I will do this one here first. So I start with the super bright color at the bottom, that is the Dawn Yellow. Okay, and I mixed on yellow with mood green because to help me on the transitions, because you want this green glow to be there at the bottom. Okay, now I go the mixture I create and I start applying here. Okay, you can see it's very light. And it's important that we put it a little bit over the candle, because the candle will be light. Now I'm taking mood green. It's a little bit too, okay, here it's less liquid. And I will put it over the candle. Okay, but keeping the core in this very bright yellow. Okay, something like that. Now I take mood green again, and I will go a little bit over, leaving this bottom part in yellow. Okay, something like that. Now I will take Warstone Glow and go over the mood green. Then I think I will go directly to the gray and I start mixing. I will put it here, but I will take, together with the gray, a little bit of Caliban green mixed with gray, and I will leave this type of greenish green. Okay, we'll take a little bit more gray, and now we'll start taking the black color together with Caliban green. Okay, the corpus black together with Caliban green, and you want to calibrate more or less each side, and you want to finalize with the corpus black. Okay, because it's the end of the smoke. I will take a little more gray. The gray is to desaturate the green that we have on the smoke, but I want this smoke to be greenish. So this is why I don't clean my brush, I let my brush to be dirt. With this green color I will put here some green. Something like that is what you want to do. Okay. Now I will take a little bit black to do the tip a little bit darker, and I will take a little bit gray to clean my brush, because I want to give a little bit more greenish tonality to the smoky part. Okay, but you don't want that is brighter, so I will take green and mix it up. You don't want that is lighter than the flame. So this way I'm taking some black and dark green to make it darker. Okay, and this is how I get the effect. So then we have a very small flame at the bottom, this one here. So this one we are not going to apply the smoke. So I will apply first the yellow as we did in the previous one, very at the base of the flame. done. Yellow is almost white, so this is why I like it to put it as the core of the flames. Then next to it we apply the mixture I did with, so I'm going to put this on the flame. The mixture I did with mud green. Then I'm going to do as well with this green the rim around the candle. Take it a little bit to be able to cover. Okay. And then on the tip of the flame we're going to put a little bit of warstone. This darker tip will help to sell the glowing. Okay, and like that I will do the other flames, the other candles, and I'm back. Okay, we have done the work now on the candles. Next I'm going to do, because I was forgetting this, the execution stone, or the stone that he's carrying, and we're going to use the same grays we used in the past, so Ministratum Grey and as well Downstone. Okay, just to give some highlights. I also have greens in case I want to give a little bit of green tone, browns, but let's start with the Administratum, and just, I don't want to do too much here, to be fair. I pretty like how it looks like. I just want to give a little bit of extra highlights, extra edge highlight, quite subtle. Okay, and do some corrections. For example, there I will take a little bit of the Dryad bark I used before, and I will put here a little bit of Dryad bark. This brownish tonality will help me, and then I can mix it a little bit with Downstone or other grays, even a little bit of black if needed, to help me to sell this part here. We can add some, because this is the part where the sword impacts after chopping the head. And add some of this, highlight some of these scratches and marks we have there. And as well, what I will do, I will try to simulate a little bit these joints. Just going over with grey, so playing with the greys that we have done just for the black. As well, we can use some of the browns as supporting and some green review one. It's too dark. And just the intention is to give some additional texture to this. I'm realizing here, for example, I miss a little bit, so what I will do, apply dark gray. It is quite thin down. You can see it's almost. Then we can even apply a little bit of dark green with the gray. Okay, no gray, and it will look good. We'll apply it there, and just apply it here. You want to go over this type of the joints that are quite awful. At the bottom I will go quite dark. Then you can mix a little bit of green again. I like to make see, and then colors black. Green will give this moss humid stone look. And you can add a little bit more gray if you want to go more desaturated. All it's about your taste. Even you can put some browns. This will give a very interesting stone color. Stones are not only gray, have a lot of colors in between. Okay, so for example, here I will take a little bit green again. The green I'm using are the same I use for the candle, so I just have it there available. Now with the gray you go over. All quite thin. Okay, something like that. I think it's good enough. And let's finalize with the highlights on the candle. For that I will use Warstone. Sorry, Wraithbone, no Warstone, Wraithbone. Put a little bit on my palette. You don't need too much for that. I will use Screaming Skull. And a little bit of white. Okay. And we are going to highlight now the candles and the skulls. Let's start with this top candle. I will use first Wraithbone and I will apply it here. Okay, here I will apply Screaming Skull, and as well on the skull I will apply first Screaming Skull. On the top part. Okay, now we will apply Wraithbone. To put a little bit of water, it's a little bit too dry. Okay, now is better. And now we will apply around the eye sockets. Here and very softly on the teeth, something like that. Okay, let's keep working on the candles. A little bit of Screaming Skull.
And I will do as well the skull on the base with this same technique. Don't forget the base. Okay, you can leave some candles darker than others. Okay, like that. We will do the top candle as well. Like that. Now I use the lighter raise bone because you want some additional highlight. Here, for example. You can even put a little bit of white. Okay, I think like that is quite good. I'm going to do the skull on the base and I'm back for the last step. Okay, it's just to finalize the work. I'm going to use Mood Green and the Warstone Glow that I have on my wet palette to do the last highlights on the rose. I also have Caliban Green in case I need some darker spots, and now it's just a little bit of cleanup on the base and to finalize the work. For example, I want to avoid this white spot here. This is a clear mistake. Apply Caliban Green. Now, even the browns we have, the Venomous Brown and the Violet Bark, it's ideal to do some corrections on the base as well. Okay, like that. It's always important to do this final cleanup steps. Okay, like that. I think we're going to have, we give a little bit more life to these rows. Okay, and we'll do the same on the other one here. I'm going to use first Warstone Glow in that case, and then Mood Green mix with Warstone Glow. Here, this one, I go there, so you can see just here and there some small touch with Mood Green and Warstone Glow to give a little bit of color variation, to make the plant a little more liveful. Okay, and one thing, I want to keep the roses quite dark
So I'm going to take Noon Oil and apply it on the roses. I like to have them like if they are. First I will need to find, of course, Noon Oil. It should be around here. Here it is. Like that. I want to keep them quite dark. Okay, and that's all. This is how I'm painting this warband. Okay, I did this one because have the candles. That is the only one having candles from the warband, but the other ones will be the same, exactly the same, but without the candle parts, of course, and without the stone. The stone is also unique for him, but the metals are gone and the woods are gone in the same way. So I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial. Please give a like if you have liked it. Let me know what do you think. And as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.
I'm taking shots at the enemy. I'm gonna make it to the top, leave a legacy. If I got something to say, you better let me speak. Turn it up a new degree, bitch, you ain't seen anything.